Did you know that a river can breathe? It sounds like something out of a fantasy story, but the Amazon River does just that. It's a phenomenon known as the flood pulse, the heartbeat of this ecosystem. Each year, as the rainy season arrives, the river swells dramatically. It rises by an astonishing 30 to 50 feet, as high as a 5-story building. The river spills over its banks and floods millions of acres, creating the Varzea, the flooded forest. This annual breath gives life to everything here. This pulse changes everything for the animals. Fish can swim among the treetops. Fish feast on fruits. Fish feast on seeds. Forest floor creatures scramble for higher ground. A time of great opportunity and great challenge. The flood pulse dictates the rhythm of life, when fish spawn and when plants drop their seeds. A life-giving force shaping this place for millions of years. Imagine paddling a canoe through the forest canopy. Below, where the ground should be, swim creatures of all shapes and sizes. This lasts for several months each year. The water becomes a murky, nutrient-rich soup, carrying sediment from the Andes and depositing it across the floodplain. Fresh silt fertilizes the soil, letting lush vegetation thrive after the waters recede. The river nourishes the surrounding forest. So where in the world is this mighty breathing river? The Amazon carves its path across the northern part of South America like a giant winding serpent. It's the dominant feature of the continent, a lifeline that has shaped the geography and culture of this entire region. Its journey begins high up in the Andes Mountains of Peru, starting as a tiny icy trickle from a mountain peak called Nevado Mismi. From this humble beginning, it gathers strength, fed by more than 1,100 smaller rivers, or tributaries, as it flows eastward. It's a colossal drainage system, the largest on Earth by a long shot. The river's main channel flows mostly through Brazil, but its vast basin, the entire area of land that drains into the river, is enormous. It stretches across an incredible 9 different countries: Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, Bolivia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. That's a huge chunk of the South American continent, an area nearly the size of the entire contiguous United States. This vastness means that what happens in the mountains of Peru can affect the water that eventually reaches the Atlantic Ocean thousands of miles away in Brazil. It's all connected in one massive, intricate network. Visualize a giant tree lying on its side across South America. The main trunk of the tree would be the Amazon River itself, and the thousands of branches spreading out in every direction would be its tributaries. The journey of its water from the high Andes to the vast Atlantic Delta is a story of a continent. Measuring the Amazon. For a long time there was a big debate. Which river is the longest in the world, the Nile or the Amazon? For decades the Nile in Africa held the title. But measuring a river isn't as simple as using a giant tape measure. You have to find its true, most distant source, a tiny stream in a remote mountain range. In recent years, scientists have used advanced GPS technology to trace the Amazon's source more accurately. They followed its origins all the way to that snowy peak in the Peruvian Andes, a source much farther away than previously thought, adding hundreds of extra miles to its total length. With this new information, the Amazon is now officially considered the longest river on Earth. It stretches for an incredible 4,345 miles. That's about 6,992 kilometers. To put that into perspective, if you were to lay the Amazon River across the United States, it would stretch from New York City all the way to Rome, Italy. Imagine driving that distance. It would take you days. It's a truly mind-boggling length for a single body of flowing water. This immense journey is what allows it to gather so much water, making it not only the longest, but also by far the most voluminous river on the planet. The sheer volume of water the Amazon carries is almost impossible to comprehend. It pumps an average of 55 million gallons of fresh water into the Atlantic Ocean every single second. Deep within the murky, tea-colored waters of the Amazon swims a creature of myth and legend, the Amazon River dolphin, known locally as the boto. What makes this dolphin so special is its incredible color. Born gray, many adults become almost bubblegum pink as they age. That pink comes from scar tissue, from rough play and fights. The older and more battle-scarred a male is, the pinker he becomes, which makes him more attractive to females. They are a surreal sight, like a ghost gliding through dark water. Unlike ocean cousins, the boto is built for a flooded forest. Long, slender beak with conical teeth, perfect for snatching fish. Fish hiding among submerged roots, fish hiding among branches. Their neck vertebrae are unfused. They can turn their heads a full 90 degrees. That flexibility lets them navigate tangled submerged forests, slipping into tight spaces other dolphins can't. Masters of their environment, incredibly intelligent, brain capacity about 40% larger than a human's. Their sonar or echolocation is highly sophisticated. It builds a mental map when visibility is zero. It's like seeing with sound, a survival superpower in dark Amazon rivers. Local folklore is filled with boto stories. At night, legend says, they transform into handsome young men. The pink river dolphin is not just an animal. It's part of the river's culture and mystery. Another incredible mammal patrols the Amazon's waterways, but this one is, a true gentle giant. Meet the Amazonian manatee. This large, slow-moving creature is a bit like a freshwater seal, or a walrus without tusks. They can grow up to 9 feet long and weigh nearly 1,000 pounds, making them one of the largest animals in the river. Despite their immense size, they are incredibly peaceful herbivores. They spend their days gracefully gliding through the water, then munching on aquatic plants. Water hyacinths, floating grasses. They are the river's gardeners, helping to keep waterways from becoming choked with vegetation. The Amazonian manatee is unique. It's the only manatee species that lives exclusively in fresh water. It has adapted perfectly to the river's annual cycle. During the wet season, flooded forests provide abundant food, so they eat voraciously and build huge fat reserves. Because in the dry season, when water drops and food is scarce, they can go for months without eating, living off stored fat. One of the most endearing facts is their social behavior. Mothers are incredibly nurturing. Protecting the Amazonian manatee means protecting the health of the entire river ecosystem. The Amazon River is a place of ancient survivors, creatures that have patrolled these waters since the time of the dinosaurs. Among the most impressive are the reptiles, and chief among them is the black caiman. This is the Amazon's apex predator, the largest reptile in the ecosystem. A big male can grow over 16 feet long, making it a formidable hunter capable of taking on almost any animal that comes to the water's edge, including capybaras, deer, and even jaguars on rare occasions. They are masters of the ambush, lying perfectly still with only their eyes and nostrils above the water, waiting for the perfect moment to strike with incredible speed. Their armored bodies are like a fortress. The bony plates, called osteoderms, embedded in their skin act like a suit of chainmail, protecting them from threats. But this armor also has another amazing function. It helps them regulate their body temperature. By basking in the sun, they can absorb heat, and by slipping into the cool water, they can cool down. One incredible fact about caimans and all crocodilians is that the temperature of the nest determines the sex of the hatchlings. Sharing the river with this fearsome predator is another armored marvel, but one with a much gentler reputation, the giant South American river turtle. These turtles are huge, with shells that can reach over 3 feet in length. Once a year, thousands upon thousands of female turtles migrate to specific sandy beaches along the river to lay their eggs. This incredible natural spectacle is vital for the ecosystem, as the sheer number of eggs and hatchlings provides a crucial food source for many other animals. No discussion of the Amazon River would be complete without mentioning its most famous fish, the piranha. Thanks to movies and stories, these fish have a fearsome reputation as bloodthirsty killers that can strip a cow to the bone in minutes. While they do have incredibly sharp interlocking teeth and powerful jaws, the truth is a little less dramatic. There are many different species of piranha. Most are scavengers or omnivores, eating fruits, eating seeds, eating insects. Large feeding frenzies are rare and usually only happen when a large group is trapped in a shrinking pool with little food. However, their bite is certainly no joke. The muscles in a piranha's jaw bite with a force more than 30 times its own body weight. This powerful bite lets them snip off flesh or crack open tough nuts and seeds. One fascinating fact: piranhas bark. When threatened or fighting, they vibrate their swim bladders to make a barking sound. It's a warning. Even piranhas prefer to avoid a fight if possible. Another electrifying resident of the Amazon is the electric eel. It's not actually an eel, but a type of knife fish. It can generate electric shocks up to 860 volts. That's more than 5 times a household socket. It uses electricity for 2 main purposes: hunting and defense. A low-voltage pulse acts like radar to navigate murky water and find prey. Once it finds a fish, it unleashes a high-voltage blast to stun or kill. Those ripples lead the eel to its meal. It's a highly effective system and shows how life adapts to the Amazon. From the breathing flood pulse that gives it life to the mythical pink dolphins and mighty jaguars that patrol its waters and banks, the Amazon River is more than just a line on a map. It is a living, breathing world, a vast and intricate web of life. Every creature plays a crucial role: giant manatee, tiny piranha. Their survival, unique adaptations, interconnected lives paint a picture of power and fragility, mystery, wonder, breathtaking beauty. The Amazon, often called the lungs of the planet, its river the circulatory system that keeps it alive. It supports immense biodiversity and helps regulate global climate. The health of the Amazon affects us all, but this world faces threats: deforestation, pollution from mining, pollution from agriculture, climate change, jaguars, manatees, pink river dolphins, habitats shrinking. We are at a critical moment. That is why protection matters. A source of inspiration and raw beauty, the Amazon is special, unique, absolutely worth saving.